May 24th meeting of the Human Services Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Andrews? Here. Mr. Daniele? Here. Ms. Cayley? Here. Mr. Lightfoot? Present. Dr. Quattro? Here. Mr. Rocco? Here. Chairwoman Draw?
Here. Is there anyone signed up for public forum?
There is not.
Seeing none. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the April 26, 2011 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. Next item, we have Paul Johnson here, the Associate Planner of the Planning and Development Department. He will now give a brief overview of the 2012 to 2017 Capital Improvement Program as it pertains to the Human Services Committee. Paul?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Everyone should have a copy of the County Executive's proposed program. This comes to you via our usual process. It has been reviewed and recommended by the Monroe County Planning Board. They conducted 3 public information meetings in early March in order to garner some public input on the program. Under the charter, the legislature is required to hold a public hearing before adopting the program, so hopefully you will schedule that for your July meeting and adopt this program subsequent to that. There are no funding approvals associated with your action on the 6-year plan. The first opportunity for funding capital projects will come in the form of the capital budget, which is submitted as part of the operating budget for 2012. And you will be presented with bond resolutions for those projects that are included in the 2012 budget year. And hopefully you will adopt those at your December meeting along with the operating budget. For today's discussion, I would just want to summarize for you quickly the community hospital program, which you can find on page 20 of the document. We have 4 general categories of projects for improvements to the community hospital. These all have appeared in previous capital programs. At pretty much these funding levels, there's a minor change to the equipment furnishings and resident care project. In terms of funding, the budget for 2012 is up and the budget for 2013 is down. The reason for that is they need to upgrade the electronic prescription system called EMAR, Electronic Medication Administration Record System, in 2012. So additional funds were shifted into that year. And that, Madam Chair, is a very brief summary. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. At this time, does anyone have any questions regarding the CIP? Seeing none, then let's move on. Thank you again, Mr. Johnson. The next item on the agenda is a new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 11-143.
Moved by Legislator Rocco, seconded by Legislator Quattro. Is there any discussions on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-145.
Moved by Legislator Quattro, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion on this? Legislator Andrews.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to the administration, could someone just talk a little bit about what the rabies exposure rate would be for the county? Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, rabies is common in wildlife, and from time to time humans interact with certain species that carry rabies. And in the year 2010, there were 132 instances where humans had significant exposures that they required treatment for exposure to rabies. Is that, if I may, is that the sort of question that you were asking?
Through the chair, yes. Can you just tell me then, in those 132 instances, were after the treatment, was everybody fine, or were there any?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes. There are literally 1 or 2 cases of human rabies per year in the whole country. And if there was a human rabies case that occurred in Monroe County, we would all know about it.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-146, amend resolution.
Moved by legislator Daniele, second by legislator Rocco. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-147.
Moved by legislator Rocco, seconded by legislator Quattro. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-148, amend resolution.
Moved by legislator Quattro, second by legislator Daniele. Any discussion? Legislator Andrews.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just a clarification through you to the administration, this referral, as I read it, in the first paragraph speaks to speaks to the visiting nurse service supporting the Nurse Family Partnership Program. The second paragraph talks about the Healthy Mom, Healthy Baby program, and then the last paragraph again talks about Nurse Family Partnership Program. Is this the same program? Am I just confusing the names, or is the Healthy Mom, Healthy Babies program the name at the State Department of Health? It just read to me as if it were two programs, but I don't know if it is.
Through you, Madam Chair, the Healthy Moms, Healthy Baby program is a funding source from the New York State Health Department that is designed to help us develop a more comprehensive approach to improving the outcomes of pregnancy for high-risk women in our community. And there are a number of different activities that are going on related to that. We have also been notified by the New York State Department of Health that we can use some of the resources to support home visiting services. And we have several home visiting programs that Monroe County government sponsors. One of them is the Nurse Family Partnership Program, which we feel very strongly that we would like to support and expand. So in this year's budget for the Healthy Moms, Healthy Baby program, we have identified some of the resources to go to Nurse Family Partnership, and we contract with the Visiting Nurse Service to provide us with the nurses for that program.
Thank you. And then it's those resources from the Healthy Mom, Healthy Babies program that you hope will grow the Nurse Family Partnership program by 25 families this year. Is that correct?
That's correct. Every one FTE nurse that we can employ in the program allows us to expand the number of first-time moms by approximately 25.
Great. Thank you. At this point in time, could you tell me how many families are being served by the Nurse Family Partnership program?
Through Madam Chair, there are sort of two answers to that. What is the target number based on the number of staff we have, and then if we have turnover and take some training time to get up to the full complement, we would like to have somewhere in the range of 275 families or moms that are served in the program. I can't tell you exactly what number we're at right now, but we're typically 10 or 20% below that because of some of the turnover that we've experienced in the staffing.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Legislator Cayley.
Thank you. Through the chair, as I was reading it, this particular expansion will only be through through September 1st? In the first paragraph where it says not to exceed the amount for the period of July 1st through September 30th, 2011. So the services will only be offered from July to September? Or am I just not understanding it?
Through you, Madam Chair, we would expect that since we know that this grant will continue for several years, that we will be able to continue to support the Nurse Family Partnership at approximately this level for the time beyond September 30th, 2011. But you're right that this $20,000 only relates to that short time period.
And thank you. And then, so you're applying on an ongoing basis, or this is going to be funded on an ongoing basis, that amount?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes. We actually didn't respond to a competitive request for proposals for this funding. It was awarded to us based on the level of risk for pregnant women in our community, and we anticipate that these funds will continue for a total of 5 years. So I think we're in year 2 or 3 right now.
Okay, and then just one more. Then, if it's ongoing through the chair, will you be hoping to increase the number of staffing, or will you be holding firm?
Through you, Madam Chair, our hope is to increase this program. There's some federal funding that we're waiting with bated breath to hear about that would support the Nurse-Family Partnership. There was a needs assessment that was done through New York State, and it identified that Monroe County was an area where we had a lot of high-risk women in need of these kinds of supportive services. So we're very much hoping that that funding will come through and will allow us to further enhance the program. But that's our goal. Some of the funding sources that we've used in the past are no longer available to us, and obviously the funding climate is very precarious right now. It's very difficult to say anything with certainty about where this program will be 12 months from now. But our goal is to try to continue to build it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Legislator Anders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one final point. I know that both yourself and Legislator Cayley and I were at the recent Nurse-Family Partnership graduation, and there could have been other legislators there as well, but that was really a terrific event, so we appreciated the opportunity to be there and commend the county on working to expand this program, as I think we all do think it's a very productive use of resources. My only last remaining question through you, Madam Chair, deals with, you mentioned the turnover in nurses, and I wonder if that's just, if the turnover level is average compared to what we see in other facilities that employ nurses, or if we have a higher than average turnover for nurses here, and if that's a significant problem that we face, and if so, what are we doing to try to change that?
Through you, Madam Chair, the nursing market is very complicated. About 5 years ago, it was really very dangerous in our community, and there was a great shortage of nurses. The nursing schools, the medical care institutions have responded, and it doesn't appear that the nursing shortage is quite as bad as it was a few years ago. Obviously, there are certain kinds of jobs that are very desirable and some that are undesirable. And we think that this job is fairly desirable. The nurses work independently. They basically work daytime hours, no weekends, no evenings. And you would think that we would be able to attract nurses into this very easily. For some reason, we went through a bad stretch about 6 or 9 months ago. We lost several nurses at the same time. But we've been able to fill those positions. So I'm hopeful that we're going to continue to have we'll have all the positions filled for the near future. But we, like any other job or program, there's going to continue to be some turnover.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-149.
Moved by Legislator Daniele, seconded by Legislator Rocco. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-150.
Moved by Legislator Rocco, seconded by Legislator Quattro. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-151.
Moved by Legislator Quattro, seconded by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Legislator Lightfoot.
To you, Madam Chairman, to the administration, just one question. The program serves 5 individuals. Success rate for 2010-2011 is not given. To you, Madam Chairman, could we get some information on the success rate of program?
Madam Chair, we can't provide this committee or certainly in advance the next cycle the answer to that question, year-to-date performance information. I'll just make a general statement. The program is actually quite successful. It's more of a wage subsidy program for older Americans working through lifespan, but certainly we'll provide that info.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. And before I mention any other matters before this, I just wanted Legislator Anders, I know, mentioned that we did attend. Legislator Cayley, myself, I believe Legislator Monroe was also at that, the Monroe County Nurse Family Partnership graduation ceremony, which was a couple weeks ago. I wanted to thank Dr. Doniger, Mike Deedy, and Kelly Reed, and also County Executive Brooks. I gave out, I think, about 45 diplomas to some young women in our community. So it's a wonderful program. I thank you for all the work that you've put into this, and I can see from tonight's discussion that it's a program that is near and dear to many of us here in the county. So I wanted to thank you again for that, and as usual, for all you do. So is there any other matters that come before us tonight? Seeing none. I'm sorry, Legislator Anders.
Thank you. I think this is just my monthly question here regarding the possible outsourcing of the food and laundry services at MCH. If you have a status update on that possibility, please.
Madam Chair, as we've mentioned at previous meetings of this committee, the RFP responses did come in. No decisions or recommendations have been made at this point, but it is still a matter that is under review. So we will certainly report back to the committee at the appropriate time.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's no other business. Seeing no other business, the meeting of the May 24th Human Services Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Human Services Committee is scheduled for Tuesday, June 28th at 6 p.m. Thank you.